Salute to our Blorange Tears fam. What it do? I would like to thank those who are joining us tonight, Knicks after party, those who are watching live, those who will be in the comments, and for those who will watch the replay. Don't forget to support your boys by smashing that like button and supporting us. So yeah, we got a few topics we want to talk about tonight. We got a couple prospects from Baylor. We got Kendall Brown and Jeremy Sochan or Sochan, however you pronounce it. And then we just gonna talk about our Knicks. So, we got RJ running the team right now. We got Sims starting his first game the other day, and yeah, a little bit of everybody got some playing time. So, we have Evan. I want to say congratulations to Evan for breaking the Knicks single season 3-point record, 218, to pass up John Starks, in which was set in 95. So, want to give him his flowers, and he's just been playing a lot better as of late. His offense and his defense has been up to par. His shot selection has been above, what it's been lately. Just taking good shots. Just I think it has to do a lot with the ball movement. Was another thing that we want to talk about tonight. And yeah, it's just been nice to see, just passing the ball, just moving it around, giving up a good shot to get a better shot. Just those types of things. So yeah, I'm been hyped with how we've been looking. You know, we still want to win as long as we're winning with the youngins. I'm good with that. Now, are we gonna make a playing spot? Probably not, but still, this is a learning curve, and I'm cool with that. RJ's going to be taking his lumps. He's getting the offense. Running the offense. The offense is running through him. He's setting people up. He looks really comfortable out there. He's finding Sims on the oops. He's finding Sims on the wraparounds, and even Sims is looking pretty good out there too as well. He looks more comfortable. He doesn't have Tom Thibodeau screaming at him as much, because Tibbs is just still going to yell at him regardless. But I just been impressed at what Sims has been able to bring to the table. There was no Mitch last game, so he got the majority of the minutes. He was able to get his oops, get his putbacks, play good defense, and I'm not sure what the whole deal is with Mitch right now. What his injury is? Is it just a minor tweak? Will he be available tomorrow to go up against Miami? But I feel comfortable with the way Sims has been playing. He played pretty good against Bam the other games too. Just as long as Sims stays on his feet and doesn't go for the head fakes, which is he's been doing. He's really good as far as just not falling, not being baited, not falling for the head fakes, getting caught up in the air. Just going back to the basics. He's really fundamentally sound, as I always say. And as long as he doesn't get his hand caught in the cookie jar with those swipes, then he'll be able to have a more of a production on the floor. So and be able to be out there more. So as long as he could do that, we should be able to I wouldn't say contain the Heat, but I mean, we really don't want to see Taj out there for too many minutes is what I'm getting down to. And without a Julius, we'd really play a small ball with if Sims got into foul trouble, then same thing happening with
Yeah,
Taj.
salute, sub.
Oh, salute, what it do?
I don't want to see him at all, man. We ain't making no playing.
No, I know, but I'm saying as far as like, Sims getting into foul trouble and then having to depend on Taj to go out there. That's what I'm saying. We want to see Sims, but we don't want him to get into foul trouble. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And yeah, that's just where I'm at with RJ running the offense, finding him out there, and Sims is one of our best screen setters. So being able to set a screen and roll to the basket and find him on the oops is something we could take and use that as an advantage. Is kind of what I'm getting at. So Yeah, let me salute some cats in the chat. Geraldine McIver, Tricky Nicky, Nick Gas. Appreciate y'all rocking with us tonight. Germ Warfare, what it do? Y'all could be anywhere and y'all here rocking with us, so I appreciate that. So, yeah. Go ahead, Kelly. What were you saying?
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, no, I was just, giving congrats to Evan.
Sending on my lady.
I know you were an Evans fan from day one. So I know you're hyped to see the production he's been given.
Hype, man. I like team effort, man. I don't care about individual accolades. You mean like him passing John Starks?
Just his production period, just taking good shots, not forcing anything. When he stops and when he stops his dribble, he passes it out, doesn't create turnovers, just things like that. Being real careful with the ball, and taking good shots. I'm cool with that. It's something that we saw the first game against the Celtics, and then we didn't see it for a minute. And then it'd be one game, and then he'd disappear the next couple games. So it's starting to be something consistent that he's doing, knocking down those trays. So finally, this is kind of what we were hoping for when we signed him, and he's finally producing. And on the defensive end too, I'm saying he's playing the passing lanes. He's poking out the rock when he's in help defense. He's trying to strip it when they're driving to the cup, or he's just trying to rip it out as far as trapping people. So just those types of things. I mean, he's not gonna catch him on a fast break and yam it or anything like that. But just to see that he's active on the defensive end too is, what I've been happy to see as of late. Yeah, I mean, we're always blaming the backcourt in the beginning of the year, but now it's like it's starting to be okay with him producing. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk a little bit about Jeremy Sochan, however you pronounce his name, Kendall Brown. And if anybody wants to hop on the panel, I'm saying, you mind throwing that link in there, Kelly?
Yeah, sure. Gladly. Knicks Gas got a lot to say. Should get him up here.
Gas, pop up, pull up. We here.
Dominican Drake, a dumb Dominican Drake.
Yeah, hey, if you jump in the chat and you whack, I'm booting you off go.
Oh, okay. He's booting you off go. So if you jump in there with that BS, then yeah, you're freezy. I'm good to go, brother. Can I? What's up to freezy? Link
I'm still working right now, but I've just been impressed with the different lineups. I mean, everybody's been able to have a chance to play. And you mentioned the other day, you were like, oh, when I said Burks played the 4.
Right.
And then I was like,
was it me?
He actually played the 4 again the very next day against the Wizards. So he was guarding Kuz that game. We ran a little bit of small ball with Jules at the 5.
Right.
And Jules was guarding KP. And then Burks was guarding Kuz. So that helped me out because I didn't have to go back and look at the games and figure out which game it was that he was actually playing the 4 though.
Yeah, Burks looks better. You see, he's playing through the youngins, so now he looks better. He looks better when he plays through the youngins. Simple as that. Where he don't got to set up nothing. We don't look good when we got to run the game through the vets. It just doesn't look good, man. These guys, they're at their roles in their careers for a reason. Why are you running Burks as a point guard? I mean, it's whatever.
But the way Tibbs has had the salute, Tricky Nicky, what it do?
Tricky Nicky, what's up, brother?
Hello, fellas.
What up, Geraldine? What up, Chuck? Wilson Dang, salute. Salute, Knicks Gas, Drip More, salute. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get them lights up. Salute.
Salute, Chuck. And check out my boy Chuck's show, Vibes and Stuff in the morning.
Yes, Geraldine. We need another coach. But yeah, go ahead. We need another coach. But yeah.
It starts 8, ends 9-ish. You know what I'm saying? This real life talk about everything memory lane, from growing up as a kid to dating. You know what I'm saying, it's just it just brings back memories just watching that show every morning. So if y'all into that, check my boy Chuck out and Unc
Vibes and stuff, you know.
vibes and stuff. Yep.
Relationship advice, man. Check out Chuck and my man Freezy in the morning, man. They'll give you experiences, you know. Relationship experiences.
No doubt. Can't wait till tomorrow's show. But yeah, like I mentioned, I just been impressed with Tibbs' lineups. He goes small ball. You know, he was running a IQ Deuce Grimes. Then he had Obi and Mitch. Then he went with a little bit of a bigger lineup. He had Sims, Taj, Burks, Grimes, and IQ. So, you know, I'm hyped with him mixing and matching. It's not like it's for a long time, but just, you know, just to give a guy a breather here and put him in a different position, like I mentioned before, that he doesn't kind of want to pigeonhole people. He wants to have Swiss Army knives out there. He wants guys to be able to if they're not a point guard, to be off guard, you know, or off guard to be a point guard, kind of what he's doing with IQ. So I'm kind of hyped with that. I mean, in IQ's production as of lately, I think he's been averaging like 15, 16 points. And the way he's been getting the calls, he mentioned he was watching a lot of Trae Young, how before you were jumping into players, but now if you stop your dribble and they run into you, it's still a foul there too. So he's getting to the line a lot using that style of play, which I ain't mad at, because I think he's just been getting to the line a lot, you know. And that was something we were nervous.
Favorite player, right?
Yeah, and then that's why I wasn't worried about him. That's why I said I wasn't worried about him in the beginning of the year, is because he was learning a new position and learning the new rules of what to get away with, you know, and what they can and cannot do. And I just feel like, you know, he's finding Obi on the oops now, you know. He's getting to the lane. He's catching those fouls. He's using a floater. He's using the glass. Just, you know, multiple ways to score. It's not just, you know, one dimensional anymore. And his shot selection as well. You know, go ahead.
He made that extra pass to Burks last night in the corner. It's a small play, but it's big to us Knicks fans, you know.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about Deuce, and even Clyde had mentioned it when he missed Obi on the leak out on the fast break and he overthrew him, and then Clyde was like, "Oh, I thought Deuce used to be a quarterback in high school." So I mean, and a lot of Knicks fans want Deuce to play the point guard. So I'm just saying, like, those things are gonna happen. There's no perfect player, you know. What was that?
So I love Deuce, man. I like him a lot, man.
No, I hear you. I like Deuce too, though. But don't expect these youngins to have a perfect game. They're going to make mistakes. They're not going to see guys. It's just we see it from the whole court. We see the whole court from our living room, wherever you're watching it. You know, they're still trying to see anticipation of guys cutting. You know. And things like that. So it's a fast pace that they're trying to pick up on, and yeah, you're just gonna have those mental errors. So I'm all right. I mean, like I mentioned, RJ's kind of just running the show himself though. And how do you feel about that? How do you feel about? Do you think
RJ was talking to town today? You know, I like it, man. I like that. You know, it's about time. I mean, this is the RJ we've been waiting for all season. You know, I know he's inconsistent. He has to get that shot consistent. I think he will with time. He'll work on it. He's more of a slasher. His natural game is slashing and playmaking. However, also his natural game is making plays. That's one thing. His natural game is being. He was a leader at Duke. You know, he was a leader. He was setting guys up at Duke. He was a leader. He's kind of like an alpha there. So seeing him do it here, it's looking like it's coming finally translating to the NBA. So he'll catch up to the NBA in due time. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy to see what he's becoming. It's just that we have other things, situations in the way that got to be addressed. These things have to be addressed.
What about you, Tricky Nicky? How do you feel about RJ's play and running the show?
What is impressing me is to watch RJ Barrett get to the free throw line so much. And I mean, he had 17 free throws. I believe it was a couple games ago. He's attacking the rim. The floor is open for him. When I look at this kid, though, I go, man, he's 21. You know, I get he's in his third NBA year. He's 21. My take on RJ, though, he's always starting, whether it was his rookie season, his second year, or this season, he started slow. And he finishes the season strong. And he did that all 3 years. Really, Subliminal, I wanted to ask you guys a question about Deuce and them and these young guys. I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of them. I hope to see a lot of them. Do you guys think with this season now, I think we're down to 9 games?
Yeah.
Tibbs has got to play him, right?
Well, he has been playing him. It's just he hasn't been giving, it's the pecking order. So if you're in the bottom of the totem pole, you're not going to get many minutes. So when we were getting many minutes with Deuce, that's because Grimes wasn't available. Now that Grimes is available, Deuce is getting less minutes. And that's kind of how the whole season's been going as far as seeing the youngest play. Because in the beginning of the season, we mentioned that we're a strong 15, that we had a freshman team, JV team, and varsity team. But we didn't get a chance to see the youngins play until our varsity team started going down with injury, with
Right.
Rose going down in injury. And then we saw a little bit of Grimes, and then Noel's going down with injury, and we saw a little bit of Sims. So it's been one of those things that's been a blessing in disguise. Not that I put injury on anybody, because I hate to see players injured, but it kind of just forced Tibbs' hand to play these guys,
Yeah, and having Rose go down really hurt us. That hurt us. We had to put Burks in, at the point guard. That really did hurt us. I mean, we were losing 22 to 25 minutes from Rose every night. But with Deuce, like, I love McBride. I love his defense. I love his effort. And I'm hoping that Tibbs will actually give him 20 minutes a game. I would like to see that throughout the rest of the year so I can get like a better evaluation of what type of guy we got in Deuce. Because sometimes he hits big threes. I mean, we've seen it. He'll hit a big 3-point shot, and we're like, wow. And it doesn't even touch the rim. There's nothing but net. And with this team, I agree with you guys. Like, we're really, really young, and it's good to see these young guys play. And they're playing so hard when we're actually playing for nothing.
I hear you. Yeah, I'd like to see more Deuce too, but I like to see Deuce running the point, just because I'm unsure of it. I don't know if he can set the table up for the rest of the guys. I'm not sure if he could finish at the cup. Those things are a big question mark for me. We kind of see what IQ could do right now. He's gotten a lot better as of late, and I just want to kind of see what Deuce could do. I mean,
hey, Subliminal, but you just said it. It seems like a big question mark for you. And that's the reason I'm hoping, like, the rest of this season, we get to answer those question marks. Like, play the guy. Let's see what he can do. We ain't really playing for anything, if I'm correct. I mean, maybe there's a possibility, a very, very, 5% chance we can make it into a plan, but it's pretty much over. So if I were Tibbs, utilize the man, let him play defense, see what we can do. We don't need to win out. Don't tank, still fight, but utilize that guy so we have a better perspective of what Deuce McBride can do for us at point guard.
Yeah, he's not a very athletic guy, but he has that long 7-foot wingspan. So if I was him, I'd drive to the cup and then stop and then act like you're going to throw the ball up and then turn around and pivot, because you got to show the ball with that long arm. You know what I mean? And that'll get him in the air, and he could just stop, pivot, and take his little shot right there. Those are the types of things I would like to see from Deuce do. But
hey, I was on Nothing But Knicks earlier tonight and last night. I actually phoned in, but What do you guys think about this RJ conversation going around about him getting a max contract possibly this offseason or by October?
I'm all for it, man. I mean, hey, the other rookies in his class got theirs. You know, RJ hasn't been given the keys to the city yet, but he's shown, he's shown that he's mentally tough. He's shown that he belongs in this league. He shows that he's mentally tough for where he's playing at. So I hope he gets it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not, now the thing is, I don't want to sound controversial when I say this. I've seen the numbers around 181 million, and I feel like me personally, I think that's high for RJ. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it's 5 years, 181 million.
It is now I do want to keep him for 5 years, but that's a lot. I mean, he had now if I seen him now, had he been given the keys earlier, and he'd been playing like how he'd been playing the last couple of games, 30-point games, and the assists and the wraparound passes, then I'll say, okay, I mean, I don't have nothing against him though. I'm an RJ fan, so it's like I just haven't seen nothing yet that shows. I've seen potential, but I haven't seen nothing yet that says let me give him a big 181 million. Maybe now if he gets 100. Now I'm not. The thing is, I'm not to say he shouldn't get paid at all. Pay the man. It's just that I think that's high. But I mean, at the end of the day, the market is going to increase in the next year or so. So that's probably nothing compared to what other players will get. Compared to what players will get in the future, that's probably like nothing. They keep making these changes with the contract.
So when is the deadline and that you have to pay him or make that offer? You said October.
There's no deadline. He's a restricted free agent. It will happen basically where he becomes unrestricted after this next season ends, and then other teams can make an offer, but we can match it. So technically, there's really no deadline. What's going to happen though is what happens if John Morant or say a guy like Zion Williamson or another guy in the draft that is playing well gets a contract, a max extension before RJ. Is that showing loyalty to RJ, or do we need to see more?
Well, we definitely need to see more. We definitely need to see more. I don't feel like there should be a rush into paying him. We kind of, a lot of fans feel like we kind of rushed Julius Randle's contract. If since we owed him because he played a good year, then now they want to get rid of him. So let's not make that same mistake by paying RJ too early, and then he doesn't produce. Because with that money comes expectations too. So I'm not trying to put all that pressure on this young man.
Right. And that was my subliminal. That was my exact point too. So I agree with you 100%. I was like, look, he's not getting paid a lot right now. There's no pressure on him. He's performing well right now, but we already know the season is somewhat a loss. So there's no pressure for RJ because he performed well after the All-Star break and maybe a few games before it. So there's no pressure on him. But if you're going to give the guy that much money and sign him right away, all the pressure is on him right away, instantly.
Yeah, not to say that RJ can't take the pressure, though, but us as Knicks fans and media, we want more. We want more. It's like, he's averaging 18 points a game. He's, facilitating the offense. So now what can he do for us now? What more can he do? So, like I said, you give him that money, he's automatically a number one. And he better be getting us to the playoffs next year, carrying the team on his back, doing all the ins and outs.
Like Randall had.
Yeah. And look what happened to Randall. He's yelling at the refs. He's yelling at the fans. He's not to say that's RJ's character, but I mean.
See, I got a question for you guys. You guys might know the answer. So with the Randall contract extension, he signed early, right, to take less money in a way.
Right.
But we could have waited a year, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Like, we could have waited a year, and then maybe we would have thought differently now, right?
Right.
Now, I don't want to put that on RJ and make a mistake because RJ's a good young kid,
I still think he's worth the money, though, because there's only three other players, Giannis, Luka, and the Joker, that are 29 and 5 players this year. You know what I mean? You know,
Those guys are winning.
yeah, those guys also have a supporting cast too, though.
Yeah, well,
The consistent supporting cast. Everybody knows their role. Everybody with Giannis, you know, Chris Middleton's their 3-point shooter. That you know can be their closer. You got
those
you
guys
know,
also have high IQ.
yeah, but well then bring more.
I had to be petty real quick. My bad.
No, you good though. You good. I'm just saying though, like you hit all those teams. The Joker, you know, they all have better supporting cast, and those are all you know MVP players. We're talking about you know Giannis MVP player, Joker MVP player, Luca about to be. I'm gonna say
another 3 years, another 3 to 4 years.
yeah. I'm gonna say he's almost there. So that's like a nice class to be in as far as that. But yeah, we've been saying it this whole year. He would look different with the point guard. Unfortunately, there's no point guards in free agency. There's no point guards in the draft. So I mean, what you see is what you get. You know, we just need players and coaches to hold these guys accountable. You can't be cussing at the refs. You can't be pushing players out the way. You can't be doing those types of things. But at the same time, you're losing though. I've been there. I hated to lose when I played on the second team. But you know, I'm not in the NBA. No one's buying my jersey. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a role model. You know, I don't have, sponsorships. You know, things like that. So those are the types of things you have to think about. But I don't know. Maybe after this season, and then you have time to kind of think about things, and you know you have a fresh new start at the beginning of next season. Maybe you come back with a different attitude.
Right.
But for now, I'm just happy that RJ gets a chance right now to kind of.
Tricky Nicky. What's your stance on Randall and Tibbs? Who stays? Who goes? In your opinion? No. Okay, no answer. So let me kick it to you, Sub. Who stays? Who goes? What's your take?
Well, I mean, we don't have a choice. They already said Tibbs is here for another year.
Yeah, but the verdict is out on Randall right now, but we don't know. We don't know yet.
Like I mentioned, he first year it was spindle Randall handle, no handle Randall. Last year, most improved player, took us to the championship. Everybody had nothing but positive things to say about him. And this year it kind of reverted back to it. So I don't know. There was a lot that happened this year with, Rose going down, Noel going down. We didn't, missing. We just didn't have the continuity. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the chemistry. We had different players. We had Kemba, Fournier. It was just a hot mess, And,
it definitely was. You missed
my question, Tricky.
Huh?
You missed my question.
No, I'm sorry. I ran to the bathroom quick and I tried to hurry. My bad.
No, it's all right. No, I was just asking you, what's your take, your honest take? Tibbs and Randall, who stays, who goes?
I got to go with Tibbs staying, and I'm letting Randall go. And
okay.
The reason is Randall's efficiency. He dropped so much this year. His attitude seems to have changed towards New York fans, towards the city of New York. His gameplay is affected by the fact, I honestly feel like he's upset RJ is becoming the man. I think that's upsetting him. He's the highest paid player and RJ's outperforming him, to be real about it. And I don't know if that's subconsciously or if he's doing it and he's hiding his feelings or what is actually bothering him. But I'm going to say this. I think too much damage has been done. And I think that's why I don't think Randall is hurt right now.
Right.
I don't see him playing the rest of the year.
Us New York fans, we know that already. We know this man's not hurt. We know. Us Knicks fans, we know.
But I would keep Tibbs, but to be honest, he never gave me the option to move both.
Right. So wait. So let me ask you. Okay. So let me ask you the next question. This for you and sub. This for you too. Um. So if both these guys stay, if you're the front office, do you go hard to get a point guard in here? Like what is the lengths you take to get a point guard in here? They say you gotta get Tibbs his horses, his quote unquote his horses. What are his horses? Who do who do you get? What kind of player do you get? What do you do?
Well, like I mentioned before, the problem is that there's nothing free agency. You have to make a trade. You're gonna have to make a trade for a guy, and he's a defensive minded coach. So who is there? I don't see anybody really available that fits what Tibbs is looking for. Unfortunately, and I've mentioned it before. The only two guys I see out there is either Brunson or Colin Sexton. I don't think the Cavs are going to pay Colin Sexton. I wanted Colin Sexton last year. I would have been happy going into the year with the Colin Sexton, a Kelly Oubre, and a Kelly Olynyk, and that would have fixed our stretch five problem, our point guard problem, and our wing, and an athletic wing. So, I think Colin Sexton will still be available, and a Brunson. Noel has been someone that the Mavs have been looking at for last couple of years, and I heard was it 80 million? What was the bag that he didn't get with the Cavs? He turned down. Wasn't it like 80 million or 60 million or something like that? Anyways, whatever it was, I'm pretty sure they'd pick up the check if they're looking for an athletic big,
Right.
in a Brunson swap.
And I'm with Subliminal on that. Like, I don't think there's a point guard really available.
Yeah, I don't think
Sexton and Bronson, maybe. But when I look at our team, look at Trae Young on Atlanta. He's a point guard, right? But he's a scorer. So when I look at my Knicks, I go, IQ. Give Deuce some time. But in the draft, I don't even see a point guard. So that's kind of scary for us right now.
Yeah, the front office hasn't shown me that they're willing to make any big moves. They're kind of conservative as far as us running it back. So I wouldn't be surprised if we ran it back again next year.
It kind of makes you wish we got Chris Paul right away.
Yeah, well, at least try to make a run for him. It kind of makes me wonder if we would have got Westbrook at the time. We wanted to go with DSJ, and now DSJ is not even here. But you know what? I feel like this team, they're gonna keep Tibbs. Tibbs is a con artist. He's a con artist coach. He probably sold them that he can get this team to win. So they're probably gonna get him his guys, quote unquote. So I have a feeling that the Knicks are more likely in the lotto, maybe. I feel like the Knicks are going to trade the pick. I feel like they're going to trade it probably for a mid-tier player, not for anyone, not for no super. I don't think the Knicks are getting a superstar. They have to do a lot of that. If they're going to trade the youngins, that'll be a smack in the face. I really don't know if it'll happen, but this front office might surprise us. They might trade every youngin they have. Who knows? But I just don't see them. I don't see them getting a deal done for a superstar. They have to really pry one away from a team. I just don't see it happening. I don't see Leon Rose being competent to get that done. But I do think they're going to trade the pick for a mid-tier player. I feel like I feel like it's a guy like Covington or Jimmy Butler. I feel like somebody Tibbs wants. I feel like it's going to be one of those guys, or maybe an Augustine. And that's kind of like a smack in the face to us, to Knicks fans, for him to do something like that. I mean, Jimmy Butler's cool though, but I don't know. That's a smack in the face to do that.
Hey, Coley, I want to be the first to say it. Knicks ain't making the playoffs next year.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to say this is because I feel this way. It goes to your point about the point guard thing. Like, we need to see Deuce a little bit more.
I think we need to see Deuce a little bit more.
And we need to see IQ run the point guard a little bit more, too.
Yeah.
And what I would do, honestly, as a front office, if I was their executive, this is what I would do. I would make sure I signed Mitch. I would trade away Randall. I would give RJ his money, maybe not the max, offer some incentives, but I would start either IQ or Deuce at point guard. I'd move RJ back to shooting guard. I'd have Cam Reddish at the 3. I'd have Obi Toppin at the 4 and Mitch at the 5. And I would let these young guys develop together. And Tibbs needs to go a year after.
Tibbs needs to what?
Go a year after.
Yeah, after. Okay. Yes.
That's another thing though. You mentioned it, Kelly, that Tibbs needs his horses. They haven't gave Tibbs his horses, for a full season to actually see what he's capable of doing.
Now, another thing with that, I mean, we don't know who his horses are. We can only speculate. And if I had to think of his quote unquote horses, I'm thinking of guys that are old. And I'm thinking, what if the front office just doesn't want to pay any old guys? I'm thinking, what if the front office has that type of issue with him, that they don't want to get guys on the tail end of their career? I'm thinking maybe that's
No, Coley, because they signed Rose and Noel this offseason.
Yeah, but they would have done the same thing in the.
I mean, he got his guys. He got his guys from Chicago, is what I'm saying. Basically, he got his bets.
Yeah, but they're just not willing to give him more. Is what I'm saying. Is or else they would have traded. They wouldn't have traded for Cam. And they would have traded for an older vet to kind of knowing we needed a point guard. They would have done that instead. But they're like, no, let's kind of shift directions now. Let's see. Let's bring in another young guy to add to the core, and that's kind of where I see them going. So, yeah, I don't know if they will trade that pick, just because we have a lot of young talent right now.
right.
We still got a lot of picks left.
I just don't know who. I just want to know who his horses are. I've been asking this for years now.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Julian Blum in the chat said Tricky got Tibbs horses. What does that mean?
He might be trolling. I don't know. Julian Blum is.
Yeah, don't sweat it. Don't sweat about what they.
I'm not sweating it. I'm just like I was never offered the option to trade both. But I think Tibbs will be here one more year, given a chance. I think they're going to move him if he don't play the young guys. He's got to actually have a starting 5, ages 25, 26, and under.
Right.
And we won't make the playoffs, but we'll be competitive, just like the Pistons.
Well, that's what we want. We got to be competitive before you make the playoffs. So that's kind of the order you got to have. You got to have your ducks in a row. So, like talking about these young guys in the draft, I wanted to kind of bring up some prospects. I feel like we'll probably be in somewhere between 9 to 14th in the lottery.
Well, record-wise, I looked at it. We're currently sitting at 9th. So, yeah, we could possibly be between like 6 and 12.
We always end up there. We never end up top 3. Well, we did with RJ, but never 1 or 2. We never end up.
But we're supposed to be number 1 because we had the worst record. Then they changed the rules on us. Whoever has the 3 bottom, worst records, where everybody gets an even amount of ping pong balls.
And you know what I don't like about that? I'll be honest.
They don't show it. They don't show it.
Right. And you know what I don't like about that? Is there are some organizations that are tanking, but New York, they're still trying to win. Like, we're not tanking. Like, when you have teams at the end of the year that are fighting to win, even though they know, it's like in the NFL. I just watched the Lions this year. They won a game. They could have had the number 1 pick, but no, they had to win. So now we're number 2. A lot of teams don't tank.
What's up, Chuck? What's good?
Salute, Chuck.
Salute, Chuck.
Do.
Go ahead, Tricky. Finish.
Yeah, my point was, like, not every NBA organization tanks. And for them to implement that rule, to Subliminal's point, it really hurt us. New York doesn't tank. We're not tanking. Tibbs won't tank. Tibbs will try to fight scratch and claw. And I think the players that we got, we're seeing it with this young group. We just got our butts whooped by Utah, just lost a heartbreaking loss again, and then we come back and we win by like 14. Why are we winning? You know why we're winning? Because we're not tanking. So I hate that rule.
Yeah, it's like every Knicks team, when we have a direction, we never do it right. If we want to win, we can't even do that. If we want to tank, we can't even do that. Knicks never do nothing right. The only thing they did right in a while was last season when they quote unquote was rebuilding and they was winning by accident. Knicks could never go in the right direction and be successful at it for 1 year. Never. We overachieved last year talking about rebuilding.
What's the right direction?
What's the right direction?
Mm-hmm.
Young guys
to keep rebuilding if that's what's going to get us in the playoffs. To win by accident.
And to keep rebuilding, you have to draft well. You know what I'm saying, and not trade them for mid-tier guys. So that's what I'm getting at. So I want to talk a little bit about Kendall Brown. How do you guys feel about Kendall Brown? He's a Baylor kid, mock 12.
Subliminal. I'm gonna mute for a while, but I just want to say, chat, get those likes up, and I'm gonna let Chuck talk. Get those likes up, subscribe, hit that all reminder bell at Blorange Tears. This is a night show, but watch the morning show as well. It's lit.
Watch all the shows.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I just want to talk a little about Kendall Brown.
For the seniors.
My bad.
He's a 6'8" wing, 6'11" wingspan, a small forward, a thin 205. He's an athletic wing, you know what I'm saying, who plays great in transition, plays above the rim, and a great vertical bounce. You can find him on oops, going baseline. You catch him in backdoor cuts, and he has a fast straight line, not shifty. You handle the rock, but it's not fluid. Who does that remind you
of? Not shifty. Can handle the rock, not fluid. You mean on this team?
On our who does that remind you of on our team? An athletic wing who got you can catch him on oops, going baseline. Got a good vertical.
Obi Toppin.
Good in transition.
He seems like a wing defender, Kendall Brown.
Yeah, but as far as like offensive skills,
he's not polished yet. No.
Yeah.
No.
I just think when I see his offense, I just think Obi, just more aggressive.
Yeah, he's a little bit more feisty than Obi. He's a little bit more.
A lot more. You know, he's willing to take the contact, but just like Obi, if he'd get pushed out the air. You know.
Yeah, he's active. He's a bit active in Kendall Brown.
Yeah, on the defense too, though. Like he plays the passing lanes.
Oh boy.
You know,
right. His shooting isn't bad either. It's not too bad. Not spot up yet, but the occasional three.
Yeah, he's a 34.1 3-point shooter.
He seems that hopefully that gets better, but he seems like a guy that knows his role, Kendall Brown.
Right, he kind of plays at his own pace.
Right, you know, like he would know his role. So
yeah, he plays under control, plays at his own pace, doesn't get shook. But yeah, I just at a small forward, real thin small forward. I don't know if he's like I said, he's mocked at 12th. He may be available. But
he is? Oh shit! I didn't know he was going like that. I thought he was going like late first round.
No, he's mocked 12th.
That's funny. Wow.
So and he plays. He's good on the defense. He's willing to box out. He's willing to sag and play and help on help defense. I just don't know if he's our guy. We already have something similar to that,
And Obi, only thing is he's at the wing. That's the only thing. I mean, I don't know.
But then you have Cam there too.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to get another 6'8" wing to get at least one more young one.
We do need one more wing. We really do.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have one more like long wing. After that, then we could start looking at other positions.
Have you had a chance to look at Kendall Brown, Chuck? From Baylor?
I'm actually looking at his highlights as you guys talk because I wasn't paying him any attention.
Mhm.
You know, highlights just shows you the good parts of a guy's game. But the things
Right.
that I see, he's bouncy.
Yeah.
He's athletic. He gets out.
Yep.
Pretty athletic.
He attacks basket. He has a better handle than Obi Toppin.
Oh yeah,
Because I've just seen a couple. Go ahead, son.
Yeah, he could go through the legs and get to the cup though, but he's like stiff like Obi is. You know how Obi's like
Up in the shoulders. Yeah.
Stiff and not shifty. That's why I kind of see that comparison as far as those two guys. I'm more impressed with his running mate Jeremy Sokan or Sokan. He's a small forward, power forward at 6'9", 230. He didn't start this year, but he was the sixth man, the Big 12 sixth man of the year. So, you know, he runs the second unit, has a high motor offensively and defensively, and he runs the court like a guard. So he'll just, you know, at 6'9", he'll just get a rebound and you know, go coast to coast if he has to. Like really shifty with the ball. Not a great three-point shooter, just not a great shooter, period. That's how when he's out on the perimeter, he'll do a lot of pump fakes and then take you to the cup. And if he's going up against a power forward out on the perimeter, he's going to eat all day long because he has really good footwork. So whether he's going through the legs, handling the rock, or ends up pivoting once he gets to the low block, he has good footwork to use the glass when he pivots. So just things like that. And he has the strength too. So he's not a thin power forward. He's that tweener who can play either the small forward and keep up with the small forwards too. So if he gets switched on a small forward, he's able to stay with them on the defensive end as well.
He gives me Justice Winslow vibes. I don't know. But yeah, no, he's solid though. He's solid.
To me, it's a hard comparison for him because but the way he's built, like his frame, I kind of, and the way he handles the rock at 6'9", maybe 6'10", I kind of look at him as a Kyle Kuzma, without the shooting though. Without the shooting.
I can understand that. He reminds me of that guy with the fro that used to play for the Hawks. I can't remember the name. Yeah, he got drafted. I can't remember the name. He didn't stay in the league too long.
Josh Childress.
Childress.
Or you talking about Josh Smith?
No, not Josh Smith. Josh Childress. He reminds me of Josh Childress.
Okay.
Yeah, wiry, slim frame dude. No polish, but he could be a good athlete on a team. He could fit. He would be a good energy guy, rebounding, defense.
Yeah, but he's not thin though. You know what I mean? He's a little, you know, he's kind of filled out. You know, just solid. You know how Kyle Kuzma was when he first came into the league, and then now he's kind of thinner. You know, it's like when he first came into the league. He only averages 9.2 points, 6.4 boards, 1.8 assists. His 3-point percentage is only 29.6, and his free throw percentage is low too at 58.9. So that's what they say. If you're a horrible free throw shooter, you're a horrible 3-point shooter. They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know, but for him to know that, that's why he uses a lot of the head fakes, because he's not a good perimeter shooter, and he's able to take you off the bounce. So kudos to him for knowing.
You want to know something funny? Not to cut you off, sub. My bad.
No, you're good.
You want to know something funny? So I just pulled them up, right? I wanted to see like who people compare him to.
Mm-hmm.
Here goes a comment. Poor man's Obi Toppin.
Who's that? Kendall Brown?
Yeah, somebody said that.
I'm on it.
But then some people say somebody said he's also 18 years old and will be better than Obi.
No, yeah, because his offensive game, he's like you said, he's more aggressive. You know,
Yeah,
a a lot of the time, Obi will be out of the perimeter with his back to the basket and never turn around and face it to make a move. And if you're gonna do that, I would fake left and then just spin right. That's all you got to do at that point. Because once he takes off, he has those long strides to get to the cut, and he's not gonna yam on anybody, but at least kind of use your shoulder and go off. Use your offhand, Obi. I mean, you got to just be more aggressive out there. I just don't understand right now. Right now is the opportunity is given to you. Is laid out on a silver platter for you to go out there and eat. There's no reason not to take advantage of it. I mean,
hey, and Obi did actually go out there and eat. You know, I mean, listen. This is my one point about Obi though. When he actually did it this time without Randall, the first time was, oh my God, like Obi, you made me hate you. And then the second time when he did it, it was Obi 40 minutes. He gave us 18, 11, and 6, right?
right.
But the key stat to me that mattered, you're playing 40 minutes and you have 0 turnovers. Huge stat.
Mm.
So what's Obi's go-to move, Tricky Nicky?
Right now, that depends on IQ and RJ and the other players that are going to lob him the ball. Obi has to develop a 3 if he can actually do that. And the reason I think he won't, I'm going to tell you why he won't. He played 4 years in college, Davidson, and he is 25 years old now. So what makes me think he's going to develop it now? He should have already had it. So to me, Obi's not the guy.
I don't know if he's not the guy, but he can still be a piece. You know, he may not be a starter in this league, but he could definitely be a guy that runs with the second unit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, but he just needs to, be more physical. When the ball's not in your hand, you need to go snatch some boards out in the air.
And
Set screens. What's wrong with the pick and roll? You know what I mean? Use set good screens and roll to the basket. I mean,
Subliminal, that's a good point, because I think Obi is a little bit too soft. If he was a little more hardened, I think he would, get a lot more. Because the dude has skill. We know he does. It's just, like, you look at his legs, it's like twigs. You look at his upper body, you see muscle. He's got hops. We know he can dunk. He can do all those things. But he's got to get a post game and be hard. He's got to get inside.
You guys ever see the movie Waterboy, where he always visualizes the guys before he tackles them? Like, that's how Obi needs to be when he goes to the cut. He needs to do a little pump fake, and whoever's underneath that rim, he needs to just visualize somebody just to get up and yam on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But maybe Obi is just a small forward. Maybe he just has a small forward body.
But when you have that much airtime, when you have that much springs in your legs, you're able to change in midair whether you're going to go around the contact and use your offhand, because we know he's not going through anybody. There's just no way possible. But you got to get in the air. You got to use that athleticism and take advantage of it. Head fake, pump fake at the 3-point line, because you're not making it. I think the last game was just, everybody was on fire.
Well, see, Obi, like I said, Obi played 40 minutes to get 18 points and 11 boards. He played 40 minutes. So when I look at Obi, and that Waterboy comment, that was hilarious, to be honest. But that's the real thing about Obi is he needs to get a little bit more hard-headed, be bullish. He needs to put some weight on to number one if he's going to play that spot at power forward, because he is 6'9", 230 pounds in a small forward's body and can't shoot outside. Cam Reddish can shoot outside. and he's just as big almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs to gain more weight because that may take away from his athleticism, but he
It will.
just needs to work. Yeah, he just needs to work on his footwork. And I mentioned it in the beginning of the year with Kelly. I was like, he needed to go do some salsa dancing lessons with his wife on Fridays and get that footwork, get them hips moving a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Do
you
some-
don't.
Hey, that would be good for him, sub. Like
Yeah.
I'm like that was a good thing. I know people are laughing, but the movements in that dance will loosen up those hips. Guys with good footwork. Y'all saw who won Dancing with the Stars this past season, right?
Nah.
No, I wasn't watching
Mount
that.
Shumpert.
Shumper, right? Yeah, Shumper.
Yep.
Okay. But you got to look at who his wife is too, though.
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
So
yeah,
she's showing him some moves. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
for sure,
When she moved, he moved just like that.
Hey,
Shumper's
let me say this though. Don't get me wrong about Obi. I'm not against him. It's only his second year in the league. I think he didn't get as much opportunity as he should have, but he's got to get that outside shot. That's the only problem I have with Obi.
It doesn't necessarily have to be an outside shot. It just has to be a non-layup, non-dunk type of shot. If it's a mid-range, if it's a hook shot, if it's a drop step, something else that makes him an offensive threat. Because you can't have him and Mitch out there at the same time. You move Randall, you can't have them both out there because neither one of them are post presence. Neither
That's a
one of
fact.
them are going to do anything with the ball if it's not in the painted area. We see what Mitch does. As soon as he gets the ball, he gets rid of it. If he's not somewhere where he can seal near the basket or go up for an alley-oop, if he's near the free throw line, the elbow, he's looking to get rid of it. Obi Toppin may attack, but again, he doesn't have the thing that Amari Stoudemire had. And that's why I never liked the comparison. Because Amari Stoudemire,
Mari Stoudemire was 6'10", 250 pounds, and he was great in Phoenix. But when you look at Mari Stoudemire on the Knicks, he had to punch a fire hydrant, ruin his $100 million deal. And when I look at Obi, that's not even a comparison. I'm saying Obi's young.
okay, one, don't cut me off. That's one. My point was that he does not have what Amari has. Regardless if Amari punched the fire extinguisher or not, Amari knees were done at that time. Obi Toppin is nowhere near the age and doesn't have as much mileage on his body as Amari Stoudemire. I'm talking about Amari Stoudemire, the young Amari Stoudemire with the Phoenix Suns on his second contract. That's what I'm talking about. Obi Toppin doesn't possess that. Amari knew he had to get a mid-range. Amari had a mid-range because
You're
at
right.
some point his athleticism was going to fade, and it exactly did that by the time we signed him. Obi Toppin is a piece. He ain't the guy. I'm sorry, those who think if we get rid of Randall, Obi's going to blossom into something else. It's not going to happen. But I do think he's a good piece. Obi Toppin is not Kenyon Martin.
right.
Good point.
If
No,
anybody
good
close
point.
to Kenyon Martin on this team is Sims, in my opinion. I don't know.
He's not.
Say that one more time, Cully.
I
Yeah.
think if anybody that comes close to Kenyon Martin on this team is Jericho Sims.
That's it.
I want to say salute D Grant in the chat. Obi never had Steve Nash. Mari did in his younger days.
Amari had
Steve
Yes.
Nash.
Marbury,
he had Stephon Marbury first.
Marbury, Steve Nash, both of them. But Marbury, he flourished under Nash, though, I will say.
I'm saying Obi never had a point guard like that.
He had a Rose.
Yeah, Rose was hurt.
Well, Rose, he had a glimpse of Rose. Rose was helpful, yes. Rose was helpful to everybody.
Amari Stoudemire was beasting with Raymond Felton. Tricky.
Yeah.
People were
Raymond
upset that we traded
Felton.
Raymond Felton in the deal for Carmelo Anthony. Come on. Raymond Felton is not Steve Nash by any stretch of the imagination.
Right. I ain't
No,
gonna.
he-
But he was serviceable. I'll give him that. He was serviceable for that stretch. Amari was looking like he was looking like he was worth that. What was it 125 mil
Yeah.
at that time? At that time, that first half of that season, yes,
Yeah, he looked good.
he looked like otherworldly at that time.
The first year we had him before Carmelo, he
Right.
looked amazing.
First half of that season, yes.
Yeah, the problem is with Obi though, he's a liability on the defense. He
He don't have
wasn't.
the strength. Yeah, he don't have the strength.
Yeah, because even going against the Hornets, it was RJ who was guarding Miles Bridges when Obi had a guard. Was it PJ Washington at the time? So
Yeah,
Might have been. Yeah. I think.
I mean,
Though I would say this though, like you're talking 2011, Amari.
right.
I mean, that's back when the inside game kind of still somewhat mattered. That's why I'm saying Obi Toppin in 2022. The outside game is what matters if you're a big in this league. That's my point.
Yeah, in the regular season, I would agree. But in the postseason, every postseason it slows down. I don't care how much your team runs. They slow the game down and it becomes a half court game. And so if you don't have you have to have that in your you can't just be a jump shooter and expect to go far. Because what happens when the shots aren't falling? Then what? You lose by 30, you lose by 20.
Well, in the regular season, if it matters, Chuck, if it matters in the regular season, we'd be in the playoffs. Then we can worry about that later.
You know, I guess we need a PG
Okay,
to make
can
it. Yeah, go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, with who do you consider the young core, the guys that you are willing to keep and build with, not necessarily build around, but build with.
So you want to get that one first?
it don't matter to me. I'll go. I don't care.
Yeah, go ahead. You was quiet for a little while. I got mine.
All right. Yeah, definitely rocking with RJ. You know,
Okay.
maybe even building around RJ at this point. Definitely going IQ, whether he's a starting point guard or just a microwave scorer off the bench. Every team needs that. I would like to keep Mitch, but unfortunately he's walking. I'm chasing the bag. I'm not mad at that. We had plenty of opportunity to give him the bag, but it didn't happen. So I would keep Sims as a backup. I just like our whole young core. I just like everybody that we have. I like Grimes. He hasn't been the same since that injury. Whether he's a starting shooting guard or a shooting guard off the bench, I'm good with that. Cam, whether he's starting, like I said, whether he's starting the 3 and you move RJ back to the 2, or he's running the 3 with the second unit. I mean, I'm just so hyped about having so much young talent on the team that we're just not, we're not playing them as many minutes as we want to play them, and we have them on the cheap. So why not see what these guys could do? Why not see if IQ is a real true point guard, or is Deuce a point guard, or is I would like to see the mix and matches of maybe running IQ, RJ, Cam. I don't know. I really don't know. Think Obi's part of the future. But I'm not willing to trade Obi for nothing either, though. If he's part of the package, to get something better, and I would do the same thing with IQ. If it's somebody we have to get that we really need, at the end of the day, it's the Knicks jersey in the front. But yeah, I mean, I just like all our guys.
Okay.
As far as the core though, I would just say RJ IQ, and
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm pretty much gonna say all the youngins, RJ, Cam, especially. I just hope they keep Cam in the future, man. Don't let him. I know got injured. Keep Cam, man. He is vital. He is very vital to this team going forward. I pretty much say all the youngins. Honestly, I think all of them are the young core. Mitch, Jericho, IQ, Grimes, Cam, RJ, and Deuce. Of course, Deuce as well.
yeah.
I think that's the core of our youngins, and they have to be developed. You know.
Now, who do you see? Like, what positions do you see each of those players at? At
You mean as far as like what they guard on the defensive end, or you mean like their role?
like offense. Do you see Cam as a 2 or 3? Do you see RJ as a 2 or
Well, I
3? Do
see
you see,
Cam as definitely a wing, definitely a three. Eventually, RJ can move back to his spot. Grimes and IQ at the point. One has to back up the other, but
you mean
they
you mean
can both.
Grimes and Deuce?
What'd you say?
You mean Grimes and Deuce?
I'm sorry.
You mean Deuce and IQ?
IQ. My bad.
Mm.
McBride and IQ can run the. They can split the point. That's if that's the future. Derrick Rose might still be here, so I don't know. But you can also run Deuce at the 2 as well in some spot minutes. You can run Grimes at the 2 and 3 apparently. I would do things like that. Split the minutes like that. I don't know if Mitch is here, but Sims definitely could play. He could definitely play. The 5. He can guard multiple positions. So I'm all for it in that regard. We have guys that are pretty versatile, and you can go into the draft and get more versatile athleticism to help the team out. So it's all how the Knicks do it. But the Knicks have to run. The best chance they have to get is how they played last night. They got to run, constant ball movement. They got to play like that. You got to play like a modern team in order to win in this league. You can't play slow. You got to be able to adjust. Athleticism, as you can see, beats. It's a big advantage.
Right. The thing about Cam is though he's just a big question mark for me too. I didn't get to see enough of him on the court this year, and
Right.
and when I did see him, I just didn't like his motor out there. I said it before. He gives me Michael Beasley vibes, where he's just too cool for school. We see the talent; it's there. We see he has the athleticism and the ball handling skills to get to the cup. He plays above the rim, but it's not, at 100% all the time. It's just okay. And he's more handsy than footsie on the defense. He doesn't play with his feet and get in your chest. He rather play the passing lanes and
Oh, yeah.
take a gamble on
Right.
whether he's going to get that still or whether he's going to get that still on a crossover instead
Right.
of keeping the man in front of him, or when they get past him, he's just going to block him, from in pursuit mode instead of just keeping the guy in front of you. So,
But that contributes to some defenders, though. Them having that length to be in passing lanes can be bothersome to a lot of teams. So I know what you mean, though. He's not all up in your chest, but the length can be bothersome to some teams, which we need. We don't have no size.
yeah, but when you're in their chest and you don't give them any room to breathe, and a lot of guys panic at that point. When you play off and you give room, it gives offensive players more time to think, more time to figure out what their next move is going to be, and that's the part that I don't like is he gives them the opportunity.
Right.
Hey, was Chuck, was your question the young guys for New York? Who would we start?
Oh no, my question was which of the young guys of the core are you keeping?
Okay.
The reason I asked that question is I wanted to see what everyone was going to say because okay, you said you keep IQ, you keep Deuce, you keep Grimes, you definitely keep RJ, you keep Cam, you keep Sims. Um, Mitch is probably going to walk, and I think that's just a money issue. So there are 6 guys that you're keeping, right? You have to fill up the roster with what is it 9 other guys. 9 other
Right.
players, right?
Right.
So you're
Yeah.
not going to be able to do that in the draft.
So who's the starting 5 plus 1
Who the if it
out of the young guys?
If we're talking just youngins, that's a good one.
Well, here, I'll say it because maybe I'm wrong, maybe I missed something, and I'm sorry, I apologize for that.
No.
But I would go with Deuce at point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I would have my defensive guy, my juggernaut there. I would go with IQ at shooting guard. I would have RJ Barrett as small forward. He's getting comfortable there. And then I would bring in Obi. He'd be my next young guy at power forward. And if Mitch walks, I'm with Subliminal. If Mitch walks, I'm going with Sims. That would be my starting 5. And Cam Reddish would come off the bench because Cam can play 2, 3, and 4. And the reason I say that, he could be 6th man of the year.
Okay.
You're talking about
I
Cam?
ain't mad at that.
Yeah, Cam Reddish. I think he could be 6th man of the year.
Okay.
I would if I would switch out IQ and put Cam in the starting lineup and move RJ back to the 2. And here's why. Forget about Randall. I am going to talk about last year. I'm not talking about Randall.
Right.
When Bullock and Peyton were on the floor, what they did was stop the ball at the point of attack, right?
Good night,
Peyton's
Negro.
downfall was Peyton hit shots to save his life. No shots, no free throws, no jumpers of any kind. I think that Deuce McBride is a heck of a better shooter than Peyton ever will be, right?
Right.
You put him out there with RJ, you're not expecting Deuce to carry the team. You're expecting him to play the hellified defense that he plays, right? And when you get your open shots, young man, because you're going to get them, RJ is going to force the defense to collapse. You're going to get your shots, knock him down. But we need him out there for his defense because that's what Peyton. That's why we were successful, because we had someone to stop the ball at the point of attack, right? Reggie Bullock was another reason because he could stop the ball out there on the perimeter. Now, I do understand that Cam motor is an issue. But I think it's because Cam is just not acclimated yet, right?
Right.
Inconsistent minutes. You know, guys like that has to play consistent minutes to get in a groove, to get a feel, right?
Right.
But I think he has those intangibles. If the coaching staff ever wakes up and like, yo, man, let's really develop these guys, I think Cam will be a solid defender out there, right? And he does something that Reggie Bullock can't do, is put the ball on the floor and attack the basket, right?
Right.
Reggie Bullock
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Right.
Yep.
Everything else I would leave. I would start Obi, and I would start Sims. Because I feel that you now have to account for 2 guys that can jump out of the gym, that can get lobs, right? That gives Obi a better opportunity to work on his mid-range game, because you know Sims is not gonna shoot it, but I think Sims will put it on the floor, given the opportunity if the floor is spread. Because a guy like that gets a jump shot that you have to respect off the dribble. His first step, he can get by people, and if you're under the basket, you're getting banged on. With that young core, with that starting 5, I think we'll be competitive. We'll still lose games. We will probably end up in the lottery. But this is how you build chemistry, and you put yourself in a position to get another guy. All the generational players, are usually in the top 5, sometimes top 10, right? If it's a loaded draft, top 10. We need more of those guys. I think we found something with a few guys, like with Grimes, even with Mitch being a second round pick. But we
Mm-hmm.
can't always be picking there thinking we're getting the best of the best.
Right.
Jokic's come around once in a blue moon. Uh, um, um, Agent Orange, Gilbert Arenas, finding him in the second round was like once in a blue moon. You don't get
Right.
those generational players like that all the time late in the draft.
Gilbert
Um,
Arenas. Wow.
Personally, and I'm gonna stop in a minute. Personally, I think we should have never found out. Randall should have never been most improved player because he
Mm.
shouldn't have been on our team. If you're drafting Obi Toppin at 8, you're moving Julius Randle so that your high pick, your young guy gets an opportunity to play. And then guess what? We suck. We don't win. We don't make the 4th seed. We're in the top 5, top 10 of the draft, where this draft was super deep. And then we could have gotten a generational talent to go with RJ Barrett,
Right.
right? Because the
Facts.
only way you're going to win is by drafting and developing. Free agency doesn't work for us. It hasn't worked for us in 20 years. It's not going to magically happen the next year. They've been singing the same song since I was a kid. Oh, free agency, New York is the place you want to be. It's the capital, it's the Mecca, blah, blah, blah. And we never get any of the big name guys. We always settle for a secondary guy, a guy who wasn't going to get signed by anybody else and came to take our money. And then we'd be
Right.
disappointed. Like, yo, how come he didn't do what he was? Because he wasn't going to do that. He was never the guy to do that for
Right.
this team. So we got to build through the draft,
Right.
have enough equity um that in the event that you do trade, right? You're not gutting your whole team. You're only maybe giving up 2 pieces. You understand what I'm saying? If we were to trade anybody to get a superstar, we would have to give up so much just to get that guy, right? And then what is left in the cupboard to pair with that superstar? Nothing. Oh no, we just give them Burks and
Right. You
they
think they
don't want
took
them people. They don't want them guys.
We don't even want those guys. Why would someone
Right.
else want them?
Nobody don't want them.
it's easier
And
said than done. I can't understand some people, man.
But I think that ship has sailed, Chuck, because we do have a lot of young talent on the team that, RJ's taking the next step. IQ's taking the next step. We see Grimes is a willing defender and he get knocked down the open 3. I don't think that we would lose that many games to be a top 5 because they're starting to build chemistry. They're starting to, figure things out. And I think that if we were going to lose, it should have been this year or last year.
exactly. I agree with you with that part, son. So like we should have lost last year. We should have lost last year, knowing that um there were a lot of question marks with the roster, and you solve those questions by getting the type of players you need in the draft. And the type of players that you need were in the top of the draft. Now, the only reason why I would say that we would possibly lose, because teams aren't game planning for RJ Barrett. They haven't set up any game plan for RJ Barrett whatsoever because they're focused on Julius Randle,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they weren't focused on
They
Julius
would-
Randle last night.
Man, that's the third worst defensive team in the NBA. Relax.
Yeah. And,
The night before.
if Butler and Hero don't play tomorrow, then we may have a chance of winning that game just the way we did yesterday too. Or
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I want to see. With the youngins too, I'm gonna see that.
That's what I want to see. I want to see with those guys because Miami always plays us tough, and when we have a young hot shot guy, when it's time to play Miami throws the kitchen sink at them. Y'all don't remember what they did to Jeremy Lin? Jeremy
Oh,
Lin was
yeah.
on fire, cooking everybody.
Right.
Miami game, it was like, oh snap.
But
Wow.
didn't RJ get 46 against him not too long ago?
Yeah, he did.
Right.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
weren't
Yeah.
game planning against RJ Barrett.
And
Like
who
the
did
game plan
RJ?
is
Hey,
to
sub.
get the
Who
ball
did
out of his hand.
RJ guard?
What's that?
Say that
Who
again,
did-
Tricky.
Who did RJ guard that game too, sub?
He had to guard Jimmy.
Yeah. So he was on defense and scored 46.
Yeah.
Okay. He dropped 46. He dropped 46 again. Then I know for sure, like, yo, he's the dude. In my mind, and I know I'm in the minority, I think RJ's going to be a really, 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 really good number 2, in my opinion, because certain things that RJ really doesn't take people off the dribble. He's not a first step guy.
Right.
RJ's an angle guy, and that's
Right.
not a bad thing because Paul Pierce was an angle guy, right? RJ does have the IQ, the basketball IQ, right? He just doesn't have the jump shot and the handle yet.
He's 21.
It's already slowed down for him, like you mentioned with the angles and that. And even though he doesn't have that quick first step, he could always stop, pivot, and then let the defender go past him, then take the little midi. So yeah, once he learns how to take more middies and he was doing that in the beginning of the year. He was using Taj at the charity stripe and taking middies off the elbow. So he needs to open that more up, because like going up against Bam tomorrow and those athletic bigs doesn't matter, they're good shot blockers. And that's kind of he needs to figure out is how is he going to get those points tomorrow. He's not going to be able to finish at the cup.
I think he's gonna go right at Bam. That's the vibe I get. I don't know. We'll see.
I think Miami is going to have a problem because RJ, to do what he did last time against them, they're going to be locking him down. RJ's going to have a problem too.
I think he's going to use the wraparounds a lot to get to Sims. You know what I'm saying? Once he gets down to the cup, he's going to do a lot of wraparounds and a lot of oops, and he's going to try to get everybody else involved. Because remember last game, we had 15 assists in the first 15 minutes of the game. Then it stopped the second half.
Sub, that would be nice to see, like to watch RJ go off for like 8, 9, 10 assists. I'd like to see that one game. He's normally averaging around between 4 to 6. Sometimes but if he could get a 10 assist game, because they're coming at him, that lets me know a lot about RJ and how he shares the ball.
I want to agree with something you said, Sub, because the difference between him and Randall, when the game plan's against Randall doesn't know what to do with the ball. RJ does. RJ is going to look for the open person, and it's going to be within. Randall does it late, right? RJ is going to see the pass before it happens and make the right play. That's why I respect this game, and I'm not like other people like dissing him, like saying he's bum or anything like that. I don't think so. When his jump shot arrives, which he's been working on, and that's why I hold out hope for him, because I see an improvement every year, and that had nothing to do with our coaching staff. Nothing to do with our coaching staff. I believe that was RJ's hard work and dedication and his upbringing that got him to where he is. And I think if he can just get a little bit of the coaching staff to be on his side for real, I think we'll see a better version of what we've seen thus far. So I think when it comes to the Miami game, I think RJ is going to have a solid game. I'm not expecting a 46-point game, but I'm definitely expecting something in the high 20s, maybe 30s, with like you said, 10 assists and maybe 10 boards, a nice triple double. And if he can do that and we get a win, for sure, a point guard, a starting point guard, um, is something that the Knicks need to really consider trying to take a couple of those second round picks and maybe someone who they feel is expendable that's a part of the young core and trying to use those assets to get a starting point guard.
Yeah, Miami is going to be, and Sherwin said, game planning for RJ. We know that with no Randall, but he needs to see those double teams before they attack him and call out for screens as well to create that separation. And so, like you mentioned, he sees those before Randall does, but he really needs to be on it tomorrow as far as facilitating the offense and calling people and directing them out and where to be at and what spots he wants them in before he gets trapped and hemmed up. And I would like to see RJ with like a little because we know he doesn't have good handles and not a quick first step, but just a little in and out dribble, just to use that shoulder, a little in and out dribble, just to get past the defender and pull up a midi. I think that would work a lot in his game. Something we had mentioned last week that the guy from Duke does, AJ Griffin, just a little nice in and out dribble, but it's something to add to his repertoire.
AJ Griffin's a beast. Yeah.
But we'll see.
If worse comes to worse, because I know a lot of people are still on this Brunson train. I'm not willing to give up a whole bunch or anything really to get him. I don't think he's a starting point guard. I don't think you should be giving up a bunch of assets for him. I would take a swing at Trey Jones from the Spurs because I think he could be had for a second round pick, maybe two. Not Tyrus Jones, not his brother in Memphis. Trey is the one that played with RJ, Cam, and Zion. He's 6'3". He's a solid point guard. He's not a starter either. But he's 6'3". He's a floor general, and he doesn't require shots. The only reason why he's not really playing with the Spurs is because of the other guards that are in front of him, the Dejounte Murray and what's the other guy? Who's the what's the Spurs other guard?
I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I can't think of it either, bro.
Yeah, it's late. My brain is not functioning at 100%. But me and Gregory Castile talked about it at length because he's a Spurs fan that roots for the Knicks from time to time. And he was like, yeah, he's just not getting time because of the other guards that are on the squad. And he's only making a mil a year. So he's making his contract was 4 years, $4 million or $4.5 million. I think a combination of him, Deuce McBride, and possibly keeping Derrick Rose. And I know some people are probably going to say, yo, Derrick Rose is going to get a lot of minutes. I hope he does. Because you know what happens to Derrick Rose when he gets a lot of minutes? He gets hurt. Now you have no choice but to either play him or Deuce. Because I like IQ.
Man down.
Yes, I like IQ in the role of shooting the ball. When he has to make basketball decisions, he does not make good basketball decisions that make the team better because he has that shooting guard scoring mentality. How many times has he looked Obi off? How many times Mitch is sealed and he hadn't given Mitch the ball? How many times somebody was open for a shot, but he decided to take his shot because it was good for him? you move a guy like Alec Burks, quickly slides into that role very easily and be very productive, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
You made two good points there, Chuck, about going after a low risk 2 second round picks from the guy from the Spurs. That's something the front office doesn't do. They need to pick up the phone when it was trade time, flip over every rock, you make sure, what I'm saying, you didn't miss anybody, and see who's available out there that doesn't cost anything. That's something that, they could have done then and they could still do now, not now, but when free agency, free agency happens. The other thing is with IQ is his defense has picked up, and
Right.
he may not be as the point guard that we all are hoping for to be a franchise point guard. But I feel with him being a starter, with Grimes being a starter, them pressing at 94 feet, like you mentioned earlier, what kind of what the duo of Peyton and Bullock did, but just without the pressing. These guys get up in your chest, from the jump, and it opens up the floor for guys like RJ. Spreads the floor out. Takes pressure off RJ defensively, and I would like to see that. Unfortunately, Randall's hurt right now, so Obi would have to slide into that spot. But ideally, if we had healthy guys, I would have liked to see him. IQ and Grimes, RJ, a Randall, and a Mitch. With that floor spacing, that defense, and we still have, Mitch at the anchor and with those oops. But
Hey, first off, subliminal. Randall's not hurt. He's
well,
not hurt.
yeah, well, they're not playing him. But.
Nah, they're not playing. Second off, coming out against Miami. Salute to Alton Lee. Love that brother. Miami is going to come out hot and will trap early. How we handle the pressure will determine the outcome. So, what I would do is I would play deuce. I would play the Bulldogs we got in New York that we have. I would play deuce. Mitch is a Bulldog. I would put Mitch in there. I'd put Sims in there. I would get RJ in there. And I'd body these boys up. Body them. Be physical. Don't be afraid. Yes, Randall's not hurt, and we could use him right now, but I got a feeling that some internally within this organization with him right now. Deuce McBride. You play Deuce McBride, you get RJ on Butler, and Adebayo needs to be held in check. And we got a win tomorrow.
We just need ball movement. We need to swing that ball as fast as we can. Have guys cutting, no one standing still. Then don't be living and dying by the three. So we were knocking down threes last game. If we start missing, just get to the cup. Get physical, get to the line. Don't just be depending on that tray to go down. If it's not our night, it's not our night. You need to be able to make up points other ways. So we'll see.
But chat, what we were talking about earlier was hypothetical.
Hey,
was
so, hey,
hypothetical
man.
about the
So,
Nets.
it's about that time, man. Y'all gonna rock for a little bit, or you want to wrap up?
No, we can wrap it up. We can wrap it up.
Okay.
All right. All right,
Hey,
y'all.
make sure you mention your brand too.
All right, I got you.
Wait, Chuck, wait, Freezy. Where'd he
Yeah,
go?
work. I'd like to thank those who joined us tonight, who rocked with us tonight. Knicks after party will be here next Thursday, or unless my boy Kelly rocks out again on Tuesday. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow. And if you like this gear I'm wearing, these lids and these shirts, is Too Smooth Clothing _ on IG, and the women's is Smooth Her. So the man's is Too Smooth, and the women's is Smooth Her. Look your boy up on IG, Too Smooth Clothing _ I'll shoot you the price if you like some. I got joggers and whatnot. And let's go Knicks. We out.
Yeah, we thank them. We thank
Peace.
you guys for coming in, man. Salute.